Can we talk about Ebola?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you talk? You know,
And then I will go to India, I promise.
Yesterday, Jen talked about precautions that are being made. Could you talk about precautions? There are some reports that an American medical worker is being either contracted with, quarantined. I don't know if they have the disease, or has been in contact with someone, is being evacuated. Have you talked to have you contacted people on this victim who has died on this person's plane? Like, what's going on?
So let me just give a few facts, and I think Jen did some of this yesterday, but obviously we've confirmed that a U.S. citizen died in Nigeria after contracting the virus in Liberia. He had traveled to Nigeria while infected with the virus. Embassy Abuja officials have been informed of the case and are working with local authorities. At least 2 additional United States citizens have been infected. Due to privacy considerations, can't provide more information about who those 2 are. So the U.S. missions in the affected areas have distributed messages to U.S. citizens regarding the Ebola attack. Ebola attack, Ebola attack, Ebola attack, Ebola attack.
The secret gathering of the Bilderberg Group draws billionaires and bankers, royalty and the uber-rich, prime ministers and princes. Yet the May 29 through June 1st, 2014 secret gathering in Copenhagen, Denmark had a few strange attendees and one odd man out. Bilderberg 2014 was gorged with biochemists, doctors, and pharmaceutical heads, as if the Bilderbergers, who have long openly decried the overpopulation of the planet, expected some pandemic to soon weed out the world population, predicting perhaps something like the Ebola virus that is now quickly spreading across the planet. Pandemic-connected attendees included Trilateral Commission member and disease epidemiologist Heather Monroe Bloom, University of Copenhagen biomedical professor Søren Peter Olsen, and pharmaceutical industry-connected Jørgen Huno Rasmussen. This was the bottom of the barrel of the disease-connected Bilderberg retinue. However, several more attendees were included, among them 2 national health ministers, Paulo Macedo from Portugal and Edith Schippers from the Netherlands. The odd man out, apparently, the only U.S. mayor to ever attend the Bilderberg soiree, was Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed. So why exactly would an unknown mayor be invited to hobnob with the uber-rich like Google head Eric Schmidt or New World Order proponent Henry Kissinger? Oddly, or not so oddly, the Ebola pandemic began to rear its ugly head right before the Bilderbergers were toasting glasses of $1,000 champagne. According to the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, from November 2012 to March of 2014, there were a total of 6 cases of Ebola worldwide. Beginning in March of 2014, up until the present, the number jumped to a staggering 1,383 cases, and that number is now rising at an alarming rate. So again, the question is, why was Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed invited to the Bilderberg meeting? For those following the news surrounding the Ebola outbreak, Atlanta has become ground zero for orchestration of the treatment of Ebola, with no doubt Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed being included in the super-secret meetings. The Centers for Disease Control is headquartered in Atlanta, where they've taken the lead in addressing the pandemic. And Obama gave the green light for the CDC to fly in 2 Ebola victims to Atlanta hospitals, to the consternation of the American public. This included Dr. Kent Brantley and missionary Nancy Wright-Bull, both infected in Liberia. Both Ebola victims were brought to Atlanta Emory University Hospital with little or no security and housed in a hospital that doesn't meet the stringent CDC-required BSL-4, Biosafety Level 4, security and quarantine requirements. Why Brantley and Wright-Bull were taken to Emory University Hospital and why Obama didn't mandate that they be taken to a CDC BSL-4 facility is unclear. just one healthcare worker treating Brantley and Right Bowl, unknowingly infected with Ebola, could release the virus onto the entirety of the American population, killing millions of Americans. It seems insane that Obama would allow this, but most of Obama's decisions don't take into consideration the safety of the American public, most notably for his opening of our border, bringing in thousands of illegal aliens sickened with everything from smallpox to tuberculosis. Probably the oddest aspect of the U.S. role in the Ebola virus pandemic, however, is the CDC's patent of a strain of Ebola detailed in a 33-page patent document entitled Human Ebola Virus Species and Compositions and Methods Thereof. The patent document not only states that the CDC is patenting the virus strain, but in fact invented it. Like war, pandemics generate lots of money for the billionaires and bankers, and the Ebola outbreak is no different. The only pharmaceutical company working on a viable vaccine is a little-known CDC-aligned corporation, Techmira Pharmaceuticals, that is poised to make billions or perhaps even trillions now that the FDA has fast-tracked their approval to begin testing their vaccine on human subjects. In 2 days after the FDA announcement, Techmira's stock jumped a staggering 42%, and when they release their vaccine, that number will likely quadruple, making Techmira investors trillions. And you probably guessed, many of the billionaires and bankers who attend the Bilderberg meetings are heavily invested in Techmira. Franklin Resources, whose members often attend the Bilderberg conferences, bought a staggering 48,000 shares of Techmira on June 30th, 2014, right after Ebola began spreading like wildfire. Literally dozens of other mega banks and global investment houses also purchased hundreds of thousands of shares of Techmira on the exact same day, indicating, no doubt, insider trading. Are the Bilderbergers really planning on making trillions on an Ebola vaccine while waiting just long enough to kill millions so an Ebola vaccine is demanded worldwide for top dollar? Perhaps this is all a conspiracy theory, that the Bilderberg Group, all the billionaires and bankers, royalty and politicians attending the 2014 conference just got together to talk and sip expensive champagne. Perhaps it is just a conspiracy theory that the CDC is ignoring Obama's open border policy, leading to thousands of illegals being shipped in carrying tuberculosis and no doubt soon Ebola. That the Bilderbergers and globalists aren't really orchestrating an Ebola pandemic to make trillions of dollars and murder millions, if not billions, of people. Or perhaps it isn't a conspiracy theory, and we're being governed and controlled by madmen.